This is the Movie Report Review Rundown, written by Michael DeKeen.
RYE LANE doesn't reinvent the proverbial wheel as far as romantic comedies go, but when the familiar is fashioned with such effortless flair, that does not matter at all. David Jonsson and Vivian Oparah are an absolutely winning pair as two strangers who meet cute at a mutual connections art show. He's mopey and smarting from a fresh breakup. She's spirited and spontaneous. Before you can say manic pixie dream girl, the two proceed to spend an eventful day together getting acquainted, getting into some wild adventures, and yes, healing each other's heartbreaks, and slowly, inevitably, falling for each other. First-time feature director Rain Allen Miller may hit all those expected beats, but it's the notes that make all the difference. The locations in and around Brixton, South London add a vibrant local flavor too often left unseen on screen. The consistently sharp repartee between the two leads keeps the audience laughing and, crucially, invested in the development of the relationship. And most importantly of all, the leads themselves are bona fide stars in the making. Instantly likable, massively charismatic and crackling with chemistry, Jonsson and Oparah are able to make characters and situations we've seen many times before feel fresh, exciting and new. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, the second big screen outing of Billy Batson, the teen who transforms into a lightning-powered grown-up superhero with the utterance of the title magic word, picks up and keeps up where the first film left off, for better or worse. This sequel does not so much build and advance beyond its predecessor than simply maintain a level of comfortable familiarity, even with the arrival of Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as the dastardly daughters of Atlas, who threaten earthly existence as we know it. And Billy's foster siblings now regularly joining him in the action after the first film's finale also gave them their own superpowered adult forms. But that comfort should not be discounted, for the light, amiable charms of the first are still very much in evidence and a delight here. While Asher Angel is underused this time around as Billy, Zachary Levi still amuses as the superhero goofball, obviously having even more fun this time, playing off of a game Mirren, as well as getting more time bouncing off of the actors who play his superhero family. Returning director David F. Sandberg has not made a game changer for neither DC nor the genre as a whole, but then, all he had to do was serve up more of what made the first film such an appealing popcorn family entertainer, which this film certainly is. The American title for this drama import set in Mali, Dancing the Twist in Bamako, is unfortunate in that it suggests a light-hearted romp instead of the more serious-minded drama it actually is. Dancing the Twist does figure into this story, centered in the title city in the freshly independent African nation in the early 1960s, as young people express their freedom in dance clubs playing Western rock and roll. Two of the youths who come to frequent that nightlife scene is Samba, a well-meaning if idealist socialist revolutionary, and Lara, a girl from a rural village who has fled an abusive arranged marriage. Their love story makes for the film's moving emotional core. But that is only one of director Robert Guédiguian's concerns, for he also ambitiously aims to cover greater thematic issues of colonization as well as the conflict between African and Western traditions, both in the past and the present day, resulting in a bit of an unwieldy sprawl in the narrative. However, his two terrific leads, Stephane Bach as Samba and Alice Deleuze as Lara, keep the film's focus firmly on its warm, universally relatable heart. Bach is especially magnetic, with formidable movie star presence to go with his solid dramatic chops, and his performance here announces him as being on the verge of becoming a major international star in the near future. Inside and trapped is what an art thief finds himself when he breaks into the penthouse apartment of an artist, only for the high-tech security system to lock him in with no clear way out. Such a posh and modern space ironically makes for a most imposing and harrowing setting for what is essentially a one-man survival thriller, and director Vasilis Katsoupis is fortunate that the one man he has at his disposal is Willem Dafoe. As the apartment proves to be as sterile as its design, With food and water in short supply and a damaged thermostat ping-ponging the temperature between hot and cold extremes, Dafoe makes a sketchy in every sense, character, captivating and empathetic. As his sanity gradually frays along with his patience in increasingly dire and hopeless circumstances, Dafoe easily commands one's attention and investment, even when writer Ben Hopkins's script ultimately stretches beyond the genre comfort zone to try to make some sort of would-be profound statements about the nature of art. But as far as the more modest, and more important, thriller core is concerned, the film works, owing largely to the reliably committed performance by Dafoe. Full River Red, the latest epic from Maestro Zhang Yimou, has been a blockbuster in its native China since its release there in January, but a major reason for that actually somewhat limits its power to connect with the sizable international audience his films have usually enjoyed. The title is a direct reference to a poem that looms large in Chinese history and culture and, eventually, figures into the film's story itself. But even if that payoff doesn't have quite the intended impact for a less familiar audience, there's still enough to savor in this initially comedic mystery surrounding the murder of a political diplomat. Tasked with finding the culprit are a no-nonsense young military commander and a more bumbling lower-level soldier who also happens to be the commander's older and despised nephew. The mismatched pairing makes for a series of misdirects and misadventures mined for darkly comic laughs, and Jackson Yi and Shen Tong as, respectively, uncle and nephew, do well with the buddy comedy byplay. That rapport the two actors share proves all the more valuable as the film progresses, and the detective's discovery of deceptions and double crosses slowly and surely evolve the tone from sprightly and featherlight to complex, dramatic, and suspenseful. With Zhang at the helm, the entirety of the ride is riveting, not to mention visually handsome, per his reliable norm. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin's second co-starring feature in as many months is not the frothy fun frolic that February's Formula football flick 80 for Brady was. With these seasoned pros with decades-honed chemistry, there is certainly humor and playfulness, but Paul Weitz's film leans heavily toward the decidedly dark. Fonda and Tomlin play, as they often do, old friends. But this time the latter helps the former in a deadly revenge scheme against a recently deceased friend's widower, played by Malcolm McDowell. The stage is set for a biting dark comedy, but Weitz never quite figures out how to smooth over the radical tonal shifts, especially when the motive behind Fonda's plot is revealed to be so grave that it's hard to find too much enjoyment in the more broadly comic touches. Still, Fonda and Tomlin are, as ever, a joy to watch together, even if the context is less than one as it is here. For more reviews, please visit TheMovieReport.com. Also follow me at 2Tray23 on Instagram and at 2Tray23 on Twitter.